Hey guys, and welcome back to another TMCTV video. I'm here with Jake. We're deck profiling his deck that he took to Nats. So tell us what you did starting from States and tell us how you went.
In States I came top 3, so there's, I think it was 5 rounds of Swiss, followed by a top 8 cut. So I came 3rd overall there. And that got me into a finalist position for the Nationals, which was this past Sunday over in Melbourne at PAX. That event was 3 rounds of Swiss with a top 4 cut. That one I was undefeated in Swiss, and then lost straight away in top cut, which is a bit shit. And I've been reliving that moment for like every day now.
Yeah, but was it the list or was it you?
It was me.
Okay, so the list, yeah. Listen, this is like a top 2 Nats list, you don't know.
It could have been if I were fucking retarded.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but so I was running Mekk-Knight Invoked. It's been a list that I've been using for a while now. Pretty much since the Alistair link came out, I've been running some variant of this deck. I've had a bit of help from the guys in the team to come up with this list. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it.
All right, easy.
So we start off with 3 Alistair, the Invoker. That's obvious. Fusion. Everyone knows what he does by this point. Mekk-Knight ratios, I ran 3 purple, 3 blue, and then 1 red, 1 yellow, 1 indigo, and
yellow, and pink, and green. Yeah.
I was running a much smaller engine with this before. It was pretty much just those 3, those 2, and him. But I've found that like you do run out of steam with these quite a bit, and if you can push for more searches, more like monsters on field, then it works out a lot better. So having that full lineup did a lot better, and it didn't. Most of the time, I didn't find it too cloggy. Most of the time, it was fine. Running into more than one of these in a hand is a bit crap, but it's not too bad. All right, on to the next bit. We have the Kaiju lineup. So we've got 2 Gamseel, 1 Gandala, and 1 Dogran. The Kaijus are really important in this deck variant because of the Mekk-Knights. So the 3 reasons you run them, you've got obviously monster removal. That's what they basically came out for. One of the other important things is it manipulates where monsters and things are placed on your opponent's field, because a lot of people now are aware of how the Mekk-Knights play and they play around them with their placement. So being able to get rid of a problem while also manipulating a zone so that you have 2 to then summon your blue and get additional searches, huge. Like absolutely huge. And the last reason is basically just to get more elements engraved for you to use for fusion summons. So always good. Wind rarely comes up, like Drolls aren't run as much at the moment, so you're not running into as many winds. Water, I'll get into in a minute, is real good. And then fire is fire. Like you get heaps of Ash Blossoms, but you need more Kaijus, and you don't want the Earth or the Dark one because they're not really good engraved. So fire will do. Alright, and then we have some hand traps. So we've got 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Ghost Ogre, and it still counts to me 3 Impermanence. Impermanence is good going first. Works a lot better than Effect Veiler, because it works all the time. It's good against the Thunder Dragons as well, because if they just set up Big Thunder King pass, you just start your turn, negate it, and then you continue with turn as per normal. The only changes I might make to this, just depending on the meta, the Ogres might get out for something else, depending on what's topping. So it might be a Ghost Bell or Droll and Lock, because particularly if Goki and things are topping, if they open Midfield Breaker, that is completely dead. That is completely dead.
Yeah, so and for the Elder Entity combo with the FTK now, Trolls are like...
Yeah, so for those definitely that won't do a great deal. Like it may, but not likely. That's still okay against that, but definitely those 2 end up being dead if they open the dude whose name I cannot remember.
Some big guy that says no a bunch, and then as we do.
So we'll move on to the spells and traps. So I ran 2 Meltdown and 2 Terraforming. The reason I didn't run 3 of this is because the amount of times that I'd opened up more than 1 in a hand, and because it is a hard once per turn, I don't want to be seeing more than 1 of it per hand. And plus I just found it was a good ratio, sort of 2 and 2. It worked out fine. There was still the odd occasion where I ran into more than 1 of those a hand and I wanted to punch someone, but like, what can you do? That's just RNG. And then we've got 3 Twin Twister in the main. That's to handle your Sky Striker and Altergeist matchups.
Discarding's not a problem?
No, not at all.
No, cool.
Didn't really have too many issues with them because I found now rather than just going for a blind twin twister, you wait for them to do something with the background, then you're more educated on what to hit. So yeah, definitely important at the moment, but yeah, as the meta changes, that might change as well. You got 3 Invocation. Old school lists only ran 2, but it's helpful having the 3rd in case your Alistair gets stopped. You can have the other one in hand if you've drawn it. Just helps to see it more often. And then if it gets to games 2 and 3, one of them is an easy side out. So then you've got 2 Call by the Grave. That's simply because ashing the Alistair search was a very big issue, particularly if you didn't open a copy of your Invocation. So being able to stop that was really big. And just stopping hand traps in general is pretty good. Plus manipulating stuff in grave for the decks that find it more important. 2 Desires. That used to be Spellbook and Knowledge, but it's more important now to have the Alistair on field to link summon into other things. So you can't really afford to run Knowledges anymore, as good as the card is. Haven't had too many issues. Occasionally you'll banish all your key bits, but it just happens.
It's the same risk reward we've been doing for a long time.
Exactly, yeah. And then a couple of one-offs. You got the Book of the Law, searchable with Alistair Link, enables OTKs and sort of dodges effects as well. Monster Reborn, that may change as well. It's sort of a do more card, and sometimes it's just like you can't really do anything with it. You end up pitching it for twin twisters or something. So I might go back into a Super Poly. I was using Super Poly at one stage, and I found that was sometimes iffy as well. But that could be anything, or I could just cut it all together. And then Hornet Drones. Hornet Drones is the one card. Alistair Link gets more stuff in grave for you to fuse with. So yeah, very good.
Yeah, easy. So 40 in the main?
42 in the main.
42 in the main.
Yeah. And then we move on to extra. So you've got 2 Macabre, 2 Purgatrio, 1 Radiant, and 1 Elysium. Didn't summon Elysium all weekend. Just never really came up. And the rest are pretty obvious. Radiant's good for stopping link plays as well, because you just flip stuff face down and then it's no longer a problem. It did enable an OTK against the Thunder Dragons, because I flipped over a Doggeran and something else face down. Purgatrio, attack, piercing damage,
easy.
Usual thing. One shout out I want to give to a particular monster. The MVP was Invoked Cocytus. People have been sleeping.
What do you do?
People have been sleeping on this for ages, but it's actually so good. So cannot be targeted, cannot be destroyed by card effects. So game 3 against Sky Strikers, he was severely out-resourcing me. Sorry, I should say round 3, not game 3. Round 3, game 1, he like out-resourced me by about turn 3, and I had very little to do. Used his Shizuku Engrave to summon into this, and it was literally just passing, each of us passing for 7 turns until I had enough to be able to OTK him on the turn.
Far out.
Because he just could not get over 2,900.
That is a big booty.
A big booty. You can't get at it with your card effects.
Yeah.
Like, it's very hard for a lot of decks to get over this, particularly Sky Striker and the Altergeist. They really struggle because they can't target it and they're just small bodies. So big shout outs to Cocytus. He a big boy.
He a big boy.
And then you've got Hayate and Kagari. Just enables the Alistair Link. It enables Nightmare plays as well. Bait out back row, get rid of problem cards necessary. You got Alistair Link, again, enables OTKs. If you do get stuck on the odd occasion with just an Invocation and no Alistair, potentially link into him and then make a fusion anyway to get you by. Then you've got the Nightmare lineup, 1 Phoenix, 1 Cerberus, 1 Unicorn. Phoenix, very good. Cerberus, okay. The conditions to actually use its effect are annoying because you just assume that it pops a face up like he pops a spell, but no, has to be in the main monster zone and shit like that. And then Unicorn's just good. The only problem with those obviously is it stops you from using the extra deck, so it's usually a play when you can't get to a fusion. And then the last 2, you've got Trisbana. That pretty much won me the first game against Sky Striker because, like I said, I built up resources, Gammied, summon, Trisbana, banish all the back row, 3 of which were Widow Anchor. So like, it was a big play against them.
Big oof.
Then he took like 3k damage, so that was big. And then Bowl Sword, for the...
Slap you in the face real hard.
Pretty much, you summon him and you win. Like, if you've summoned him and you haven't won, then there's something fucking wrong. You've misplayed. And then we move on to the side. So we've got even more hand traps. 3 Ghost Bell. Only came up a couple times, didn't come up as much as I wanted, but coming into the next format, it will be important. Good to note, that negates the activation, not the effect, which is why I didn't win my top 4 cut. I assumed that it negated the effect, and I couldn't fuse. I thought he had it in hand.
Yep. So you played around what you thought.
I played around what I thought I had in hand.
And it wasn't.
He didn't have it. He wasn't running any hand traps. B, I had the field spell up, which stops you from negating activations. So
okay, yeah.
It was a problem that I was avoiding that I didn't need to.
Yeah.
So very important. Read your cards.
Yeah.
Then we've got 3 Evenly. Deals with the big boy boards that you can't out with just your normal stuff. You got Red Reboot. Game 3 in the first round, I opened pretty much 2 of them, and then there was a couple turns of passing. So by the time anyone played, this is against Altergeist, by the way, by like the turn that anyone started to do anything, I had 3 of these in hand. Like, I feel bad for the dude, but he was not winning.
Yeah, that was like, never gonna happen.
Like, it just was not his day. Storm Dusters for when your opponent knows you're playing Mekk-Knights and makes you go first. You sub out the Twin Twisters and means you're not losing resources. And then lastly, Shared Rides. Wasn't sure about these.
This is
now
the cross format now.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing with this is, like, a lot of boards now, if they go second, can usually OTK you. And unless you're drawing into some really good cards, this doesn't do as much for you as you might want. If anything, I might sub these out for, like, a solemn package of some type, maybe because Trickstar aren't as big in the meta now, so locking down your back row is not as, like, it doesn't happen as much anymore. But yeah, the time, I think I decided these in once and didn't see it, and the times that I've played in other games, it's just been subpar. So yeah, I think I might cut those for something else. But yeah, that's the deck, so yeah.
Any shout outs? Any notes?
Yeah, shout out to Logan. He helped me a lot with this deck. The variant that I was running before, like I said, it had Spellbook and Knowledge and stuff, and that just doesn't get you anywhere in MR4. You need stuff to link with. He helped me with the Kaijus as well. Manipulating the zones and getting rid of problems is huge. And just the boys at Team C4G and at the Wollongong locals helped me test and sort of work things out beforehand.
Yeah, easy done. Put the full list in the description, so it's nice and there for you guys. Other than that, thank you for watching, and
subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe,
for more content like this.
Do the like and the sub and the bell and the
click the bell.
Click the bell.
The bell.